I thought it would be kind of fun to talk about things that didn't go right on gigs or in sessions or in any kind of playing situation. Over the years, you do 1,000 or more gigs and everything's just fine and no problems. But the ones that really stand out are the ones where things went awry. And for me, there's a few over the years that I seriously regret having been there, but I I do remember back in the early '80s, I was playing with a band um, that was out of Malibu, and God, I can't remember the band leader's last name, but I think it was his first name was Scott, and he did an album. We did an album together. Bo Tomlin was the keyboard player and computer programmer for the gigs we did. We used to play all around Los Angeles. We played down in the marina at Hop Sings, and we'd play out in Hollywood, and then we'd play in the Valley, and we played at a place that's no longer there. It was called La Ville, and it was on Ventura Boulevard, somewhere down in Reseda or something, and it was kind of a hip, club for jazz fusion and things like that. But this band was more of it was all originals. It was, I don't even know how to describe it. It was great vocals in many ways. I remember Scott's wife was just fantastic backup vocalist. And Bo, who was the representative or clinician for Yamaha at the time, he was in the band and enthusiastic about it. And we did an evening at La Ville, and we were using a Lynn drum computer. And I will say this is the last time I ever used a Lynn drum computer on a gig. We were in the middle of the set and in the middle of one of the songs, and for some reason the Lynn drum computer decided to completely go off off track, and it was the largest train wreck of a song I've ever played through. It was absolutely horrifying to have the drum track just cut out and start somewhere else, and there was just no way to get the feel or figure out where you were in the song. We had no idea where it had reset to. So it was one of the toughest things. If it had been a simple 4/4 beat, that might have given us a chance, but unfortunately there was plenty of syncopation in the song, and it was a nightmare. I just remember looking over at that thing and wanting to take a rock and smash it. It was a little red box about this big, and it just was awful. And that was a horrible experience. Those are the kind of things that you'll never forget. I also remember I was doing I was on a session for the game show Wheel of Fortune, and every so often they would update the songs to play behind the things they were giving away or whatever. And I remember we were doing one of the one of the songs, and it just wasn't coming together. It was, top session guys in there. It was all a fantastic crew of guys, but for some reason that one song just didn't have any kind of life to it. So I suggested, well, why don't we try it reggae, style, so that it kind of took it outside of its box, and also set it up for a Caribbean vacation giveaway or whatever they were doing on the TV show. So so we started playing it, and Michael Boddicker was on keyboards or synthesizers, and I remember him. I couldn't even see him. He was to my left in the studio, and he was literally behind this giant wall of synth, and there was just all of a sudden we start into this thing, and I hear him screaming from behind the keyboards, and he's going, he's just cussing and screaming and going, I can't find one. Where's one? Where's one? And it was like, oh my God. We just completely threw him off with that reggae beat. And so I did a quick reset of my playing style and basically just pounded on one for the reggae beat, for the bass line, and we got that track laid down, and everything went great. But it was funny to hear him screaming from behind those keyboards and yelling at everybody, cussing us out. But it is one of those times where things don't go exactly as planned, but and sometimes you wish you hadn't suggested something in a session if it doesn't go right. But like I say, in the long run, it went well. Let me think if there's anything else that I've really been embarrassed by or regretted. I guess sometimes, as a session musician, you're not discerning about who you're going to work with. I mean, you can't be. You have to just go with the flow. But I do remember being brought in or suggested that I go with this session from another producer that I was working with, and he said, "Why don't you go down here and I'll introduce you, and you can do his thing." And I went down there, and he was, I think he was from Germany, and I walk into the session, and he's trying to describe what he wants for this music, and I don't know if it's lost in translation or something, but maybe it's a European thing that doesn't, cross over to the U.S. mind, but he was telling me he wanted crazy clown music, and I don't know what crazy clown music is. I have no idea. I was under the impression that we were doing lounge music for, a CD for a music library. And so they wanted kind of 60s and lounge music. And instead he's describing it as crazy clown music. And I literally was at a loss, and I'm just trying to get through, trying to come up with a feel. And it was just very confusing. It took longer to get through that session than it should have, just simply because I just was at a loss as to what he was trying to achieve. So eventually I just went with what I felt was, gonna work. and it ended up on the CD, and they used it, so I guess it was okay. But I still to this day don't know what crazy clown music is, nor do I really feel that I need to know what crazy clown music is. Anyway, I just thought you might enjoy some of the downsides of being a professional musician. It's not all that common for things to implode, but once in a while it does. And when it does, you tend to remember those moments.